There it goes. No priming, no noise. That was amazing. Wow. Fish a lot here with Fishy Review. Today I've got this Penguin Pro 125 power filter rated for aquariums up to 20 gallons, also listed as being ultra quiet, which is important. And it's a redesign of their old designs they've had for years. Lots of changes in here. I'm just looking at the box right now. I have not been in here. Lots of stuff to look at. Let's take a look at that right now. Okay, we'll open up the box, get it on out. Okay, this filter is interesting. It has a hinged lid and it kind of snaps shut. So you have to push in on this front part kind of pretty firmly with your thumb or your fingers and raise it on up. It has a little picture in here what size filter you want to put in it for the future, so keep that in mind. Inside we have a traditional bio wheel. Nothing's different there. Got a little bit different design on the intake screen. It's a screen all the way around. That's kind of cool. Takes a Rite-Size B filter. This is something Marineland's used for years. This is not a new size of filter. It's nice that they put one in a filter this small though, because used to be in filters this size, they use the Rite-Size A, which are really tiny, and I hate those. They don't have enough surface area, so this is a definite improvement. The motor for this filter is internal, so that means it sits in your fish tank in the water. The cord goes down in there. It does not need priming, so you don't have to worry about always putting water in the back of the filter like most other filters do. Let's take a look inside this motor assembly so you can see how you would get to the impeller, because eventually you're going to want to clean that thing. Take this and give it a twist. It's going to pop out. Just wiggle it. The top's going to keep shutting on me while I do this. It's on the bottom. This does come off, but the first time it's a little stiff, so all you really do is get a good hold on the bottom and pull this sideways. It's going to pop off, okay? Otherwise the impeller would be really hard to get out. So that impeller then would slide out of here. There is a little rubber cap that you got to watch out for. It's another one of these with the rubber cap that flies. So this is a tiny guy. Look at this little thing. Wow. Okay, so it says in the top of the filter to replace this yearly. I don't know. You wouldn't have to if it's not dinged up, but if it looks good, you can keep it. Always want to take this out once in a while and give it a good cleaning. So basically you would take this out and you just brush it off, brush off these fins. If you can get something down in this hole to clean around in there, that'd be great, but this shaft does not come out, so it's kind of in your way. So put that back down in there. We take this rubber cap that you don't dare lose, snap it back on there. It comes a little bit of an oil on it, so that's getting on my fingers. So you want to check this too for any contaminants, rocks, Java moss, other stuff that might get trapped in here, snails, whatever. Just want to snap this back on. Snaps on pretty easy, but it's a little stiff. Snap it on real good, make sure it's closed all the way around. Let's see what's going on with this tube here. This is cool. Okay, so there is a strainer basket kind of a contraption here. So this comes apart. Here's this top piece. It's just sitting in this rubber ring that holds it steady. That's kind of a sound dampening effect. They've done some things to this filter to make it less noisy. So the plastic pieces aren't touching, the rubber dampens that sound. Really, that's all there is to this. You'd have to keep this clean. I could see where these little holes would get clogged up. You'd want to brush those out once in a while. I put this tube back in the way it was. It just snaps in there. And this part here goes into like a rubber area here. Put this motor here. The cord goes towards the back of the filter, okay, like this. And you'll also see that the minimum water level wording would be out facing you. So otherwise it's kind of confusing which way it goes. The tabs are different sides. It's only going to go one way anyway. So we put that in here like this. Give it a little twist so it's locked in. Now that part's good. The lid's going to keep closing. Open the filter bag. Here's the Rite-Size B filter. The filter floss would go towards the back of the filter, not towards the front, because you want this to catch things. We put it in there. We need to rinse it before we actually run the tank. I'll just set it here for now. I'll rinse it out later before I start. Now the intake. Here's the intake. The fat end of this tube, this fat end is the skinny end. The fat end is going to snap onto here. Okay, so then we have this little tube here, which is an extension tube, and it is also, we'll snap it on here and show you, it is a mid-level intake. So it's got slots here. You can have water going in here and here. For my tank, that's probably okay. We'll leave it on here and see what happens. I've got a 20-gallon here. That's a quarantine tank, a little cloudy, does not have a power filter, only has a sponge. This longer tube is extendable. Okay, so it goes like this. It's just like that. It's got little ridges, so it snaps in. I would not go all the way to the last ridge on that, maybe the second one. But my tank's not that deep. We'll keep it down low and see if I have to extend it. Now where it's going to go is this is going to snap into this motor here, right there at the top. Okay, just like that. And so you've got this upper level intake, mid-level, upper level, whatever you want to call it. We've got this. If this is too deep for my tank, then I would probably take out the long tube and leave the short one. So if you wanted to, you could take this out. You could take this and connect it directly to that part of the filter. It's got a lot of options. You could take this long piece out if you wanted to. You could put this right on it for a very short situation and have this here. Then the last thing is this bio wheel. You simply take this paper off. We'll just rip that loose. It sits down in these little purple grooves here. Make sure it's spinning freely. If this bio wheel stops spinning, of course, that means that either you've got some gunk on these shafts that you need to clean off, or down on the purple things, or that your filter is just not flowing enough water. And sometimes the bio wheels on the old filters are a little bit flaky, so who knows. There is also inside this filter a flow dial, so you can dial this up. It has little arrows on it, so it shows you which way is more open, which way is more closed. So I believe that if the fat side of this is going out, that's more closed off, and if the skinny side is out, it's more open. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go inside and rinse off this filter before I start, and the next thing is we'll go put it on the tank. Before I put this filter on the aquarium, just one more thing. If you could hit that like button for me, I'd really appreciate it. It would help you find more videos like this and help other people find this video as well. Plus, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd appreciate it if you could. You don't have to, but if you could, it'd be great. It's a small channel trying to get it started right now, and that really helps out, and it helps you find more of our videos in the future. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to plug this filter in for the first time. And open the lid up. I got to hold it open. My stand here doesn't really allow room for anything. There it goes. No priming, no noise. That was amazing. Wow. We can see the flow coming out of it. It looks great. The bio wheel is turning very well. This is awesome. It really is silent. This thing is right now making no noise. If I take out the bio wheel, we can see how much water is flowing. That would be what you'd expect for normal. It's kind of in a waterfall. They've got some extra shapes in there to help it redirect the water so this wheel will keep turning instead of stopping. So time will tell on that. I will let you all know in a follow-up. That's it. Let the lid shut. Here's the aquarium that it's on. It's a 20-gallon high. This is a quarantine tank. Not that any of these fish probably need to be quarantined. They got them at a local fish swap recently. Check out these gold laser Cories. They're so cool. They're so cool that I bought 12 of them. And they're all hiding out in here. There's also some baby mystery snails. You can see them on the fake sand bottom. If you're wondering how to do a fake sand bottom like this on your aquarium, be sure to check out the card up on top that shows you my video how to do that. Here's a Pleco here. Look at him. We call him Petey. Look at that. He's got one dark eye. Otherwise, he's yellow colored, red, or whatever he is. I don't know. He's not albino. He's a blue-eyed. Looks like, but he is quite the hybrid, so he's cool. Okay, so we've got that filter running on the tank, and I wanted to talk about the reviews online that I see on these filters. If I try to look up for this filter, it's mixed in with the other model sizes, so I don't know if that's a factor. So the number one complaint on these filters is that they're noisy, or they spray water, or the bio wheel doesn't turn. Okay, so bio wheels, that's one thing. If the flow is not high enough, they're not going to turn. You have to keep that impeller clean. You have to keep everything in top shape for that to clean, which is an annoyance on the old filters. It sounds like from the reviews that may still be an issue. There are ways to improve that and make that not happen though, but that's a whole video of its own. We can't get into that right now. Now, as for the noise, this thing's silent. It makes no noise. Only thing I hear in my fish room when I turn it on is the other stuff in here, like some filters on tanks that has a little bit of low water level, that kind of thing. This thing is silent. It's not making noise. I don't understand that complaint at all. It makes no sense to me. Now, I have a 125. Maybe the 275 is louder or something. I will say that the housing on the bottom of the motor is a little hard to snap on. So if that's not snapped on all the way, surely that makes it make noise. It would just make sense. This thing is silent. It was instant to turn on. You saw how well that was. I don't have that problem with this size filter. Maybe this one's better than the others. As far as water leaking or anything, it should leak back into the tank. I don't see anything like that going on with mine. Right now, it seems like a really good little filter. To me, at this stage, I've just put it on the tank. It's right up there with the tidal filters, the Seachem tidal filters, as far as how good of a filter it appears to be. I'm really happy with it. I'm impressed with the design. I really held off on this for a while because I read some of those reviews. So if you are one of those people having problems like these reviews talk about, please put it in the comments. I'd like to hear it. Maybe somebody else will have a suggestion on how to fix it, because I think if there's a problem with the filter, it has something to do with something tricky about the way it's assembled. It's pretty easy to put together, but there is a possibility that you could have something wrong. So do that, and maybe that'll help. So it's really interesting to see that they've done a great job on it as far as I can tell, and time will tell. As I always say, we just have to let this thing run for a few weeks or a few months and see how it behaves. So if it is down the road now and there's now been a follow-up video made, it'll be over here on the links. Otherwise, you should find some of my other filter reviews here that you can click on and take a look. This is Fishelati with Fishy Review, reminding you to keep it fishy and have fun. Thanks.